For years, we've been ripped off and taken advantage of by China.
What other presidents allow China to get away with is absolutely criminal.
China obviously treats us very badly. China's an abuser.
China is ripping off the United States for $1 trillion.
Trump says the steep tariffs he imposed on Chinese goods will be coming down, quote, substantially.
Trump chickened out. At least that is what the Chinese are saying.
President Trump's trade war has stocks and tariffs yo-yoing in opposite directions. The tariffs go up, stocks go down, and vice versa.
What appears to be good news, possibly a reversal from President Trump on the trade war with China, could help the economy, could help the markets.
I'm not going to say, I'm going to play hardball with China. I'm going to play hardball with you, President Xi. 145% is very high, and it won't be that high. It'll come down substantially, but it won't be zero.
In a surprising twist, President Donald Trump has signaled a back down from his aggressive stance on tariffs against the global giant, China. After all these months of escalating trade tension, what could be the reason for this sudden change? Is it a strategic move, or is it a response to the mounting economic pressures and frustration of the Americans affected by these tariffs? Welcome to the channel. I'm Sean Dunks, and I wish I didn't have to ask, but I know it helps if I do. So please like the video, and if you're new here, please consider subscribing. It helps the channel way more than you know, and in return, I'll keep bringing you these interesting updates. Now, let's dive into the latest developments and uncover the real story behind Trump's tariff turnaround. This trade fight didn't just show up out of nowhere. It's been building step by step, the same way a wildfire would.
For years, we've been ripped off and taken advantage of by China.
What other presidents allow China to get away with is absolutely criminal.
China obviously treats us very badly. China's an abuser.
China is ripping off the United States for $1 trillion a year.
It started right after Trump returned to office. His first move, a 25% tariff on Chinese steel and aluminum. That means anything made from these materials, cars, cans, and buildings, got more expensive. And Trump said it was about protecting American factories. The goal? Make Americans buy local. But global markets started to get nervous, and I'm not sure if it was a good thing or a bad thing. But shortly after came the big hit, 145% tariffs on all goods coming from China.
I just got off the phone with a White House official, and they need to clarify that the new effective tariff rate against China, effective today, is actually 145%, not 125% as they told us yesterday.
Trump said it was payback for unfair trade, but this wasn't just a business move. It was war, economically. But Trump didn't stop. He went even further, raising the tariff to 245%, retaliating to China, retaliating to his 145% tariff increase. Crazy, right?
Tariffs on China could jump as high as 245%. A White House fact sheet on Wednesday says the new hike is in response to China's retaliatory tariff of 125%. China has said it would not increase tariffs again, even if the United States does, posting this morning, quote, China remains committed to joining hands, not throwing punches.
He said China was stealing U.S. ideas and sending fentanyl. His words? The ball is in China's court. Overall, what started as a small tax on metal turned into a massive economic battle. And now, it's not just about winning, it's about whether anyone can even survive it. But here's a real question. How does this back out on tariff fit into Trump's original promise? Wasn't the whole point of these tariffs to be tough on China, to bring manufacturing back to the US? Stop what he called economic warfare. Back then, Trump made it clear that tariffs were a weapon, a bold move to protect American jobs, punish China's trade practices, and force fairer deals. But now, he's backing down, at least partially. So, did he lose the trade war? Not necessarily, but this is a sign of compromise, and compromise doesn't always look like winning, especially to the voters who expected more dominance. Here's the problem. Those tariffs did hit China, but they also hit us, and hard too. Inflation climbed, small businesses struggled, farmers lost markets, even major retailers and automakers begged for relief. So what's happening now might not be surrender. It might be strategy, a tactical retreat to avoid more domestic pain, all while still keeping leverage on the table. In Trump's eyes, if easing tariffs stabilizes the economy but still pressures China in negotiations, he might call that a win. Not a full-blown victory, but a chess move. But let's be real. To the average American who thought these tariffs would bring back factories and lower prices, this back down from Trump feels confusing, maybe even disappointing, and it leads to a bigger question. Were these tariffs ever really meant to fix the problem? Or was this just Trump's way of making noise?
People are panicking because they don't know what the future is going to bring.
That uncertainty for grocery stores and its shoppers remains today, the result of tariffs put in place by the Trump administration that could cause your food bills to jump.
Since the trade war started, the US economy has been feeling the pressure. Prices are going up, stores are paying more, so they're charging you more. And a lot of companies are starting to speak out. Big stores like Target, Walmart, and even Best Buy say they're raising prices because importing products is way more expensive. Auto companies like Ford and Volkswagen say new cars will cost more soon, unless the government gives them a break on these tariffs. Even electronics are affected. Sony already raised the prices of PlayStations, expecting things to get worse. And farmers are hurting too. China hit back with their own tariffs, especially on American food, like soybean and beef. That means fewer sales and a lot of stress for the people who grow our food. Shipping costs are also climbing fast. Some ports added extra fees and shipping routes had to be changed. Air shipping from China to the US went up over 7%, and ocean shipping up almost 13%. Everything's taking longer and costing more. Even top people in the government are admitting it. Treasury Secretary Scott Bassett called the trade war unsustainable, basically saying we can't keep this up forever. Now it looks like the White House is starting to rethink things, because when everything starts costing more, something's gotta give. After Trump hinted that tariffs on China might go down, China didn't overreact. Instead, they kept things calm but firm. They said they're open to working things out, but only if the deal is fair and equal. In other words, they don't want to look weak. A Chinese trade official put it simply: we're ready to work together, but not at any cost.
If the U.S. truly wants to resolve issues through dialogue and negotiation, it should stop making threats and resorting to coercion and engage with China on the basis of equality, mutual respect, and mutual benefit. Saying they want to reach an agreement with China while continuing to apply maximum pressure is not the right way to deal with China, and it will not work.
Earlier, China had already hit back hard, putting a 125% tariff on American-made products like farm goods, airplane parts, and computer chips. That hit US businesses where it hurt, especially farmers, tech companies, and manufacturers. But this back and forth isn't just between America and China anymore. The whole world is feeling it. Experts from the World Bank say if this fight keeps going on, it could slow down the global economy by 1% in the next 2 years. That doesn't sound like much, but it adds up to trillions of dollars in loss worldwide. That means fewer jobs, less growth, and big problems for countries that depend on exports to survive. Even Europe's getting nervous. The EU welcomed the recent softening of the tariffs, but warned that the months of uncertainty already shook their industries, especially in places like Germany, where factory orders are slowing down. And in Asia, countries like Vietnam and Thailand are getting short-term boosts. Some factories are relocating from China and the US in order to dodge these tariffs. But even they know, if this trade war keeps dragging on, no one wins in the long run. So while it seems like things might be calming down, it raises a tough question. If we're just gonna back down, what was the point of all this pain in the first place? Did the tariffs work? Or did we just stir up a global mess that we're now trying to quietly clean up? I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. Oh yeah, hold up. Have you subscribed yet? If you've made it this far, it won't cost you a penny to hit the subscribe button and join the fam. Now, with the 2024 election behind us and Trump back in office, every move he makes now is political. These tariffs, they were never just about economics. They were about sending a message. To his base supporters, Trump looked like a fighter. He stood up to China, pushed for American-made everything, and promised to bring jobs back home. And for many people, especially in manufacturing towns and farming states, it felt like someone was finally on their side. But now, as the tariffs ease, people are asking questions. Did it actually help American workers? Did we win anything meaningful? Or was it all just a bargaining chip that hurt us more than it helped? Even conservatives are starting to say, hey, wait a minute, if we're backing off now, was this just about looking tough during the campaign? Meanwhile, the Democrats aren't staying quiet. They're calling out the economic pain, the rising prices, and the global instability that followed. They're asking whether Trump's strategy was ever meant to succeed, or was it just to stir up the headlines? And the voters? Well, they're stuck in the middle. Paying more at the store, watching their 401ks bounce all around, and trying to figure out what comes next. This trade battle with China might be calming down, but politically, it's just heating up. What happens next? Well, how Americans vote in the 2026 election and beyond depends on if the tariffs stay, shrink, or snap back into place. Alright, so what now? What should us regular people be looking out for as this trade drama plays out? Well, you want to look out for 4 things. 1, watch the prices. If tariffs come back or stay high, you see it first in the stores. Phones, food, tools, even clothes. The price tags will tell the real story. And number 2, pay attention to the talks. Trump says he wants a better deal with China. China wants fairness. If they start talking more and seriously, you'll see the tension ease. If not, things could just blow up again. And fast too. 3, look at the jobs. The whole reason for these tariffs was to help American workers. But if companies keep laying off people and moving operations overseas, what was the point in the first place? And last, follow the elections. This isn't just an economic issue. It's political. Watch how both parties use this in their messaging. Then ask yourself, who actually has a plan to help you? Things may look like they're cooling down now, but don't get too comfortable. One wrong move, one harsh tweet, or one bad trade report, and this whole thing could heat right back up again. So stay sharp, stay informed, and most of all, don't just watch the headlines. Understand what they mean for you. Thank you so much for watching. If you did find this video insightful, please like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth conversations on the global economic developments. Also, share your thoughts in the comments below. How do you think this trade situation will unfold? And I'll do my best to respond to as much of the comments as possible. Stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.